Well, here at home, ActionSA wants access to the Reserve Bank's Phala report, which cleared President Cyril Ramaphosa of any wrongdoing related to declarations of foreign currency that was stolen from his farm in Limpopo back in 2020. The parties filed an application in terms of the Promotion of Access to Information Act. It believes the report could be a cover-up. ActionSA has also threatened further legal action if the application does not succeed. Let's speak to the party's leader now, Herman Mashaba. Mr. Mashaba, very good evening to you. I'm grateful for your time. I think let's take a few steps back and talk to why you believe that upon full scrutiny of the report, we may find that there's more to this than meets the eye.
Well, I think it is really clear that this report by the Reserve Bank is just a whitewash, and it's really quite disturbing. It's really quite concerning for our Reserve Bank to use this kind of an approach, actually insult our intelligence as South Africans. As you are aware, there's no one allowed to bring such amount of money into the country without proper declaration through the Reserve Bank. And for the Reserve Bank to tell us they found nothing untoward on this particular matter, it's honestly an insult to us. Fortunate enough, our legal team this morning submitted our application. And as Senator of ActionSA, we are prepared to go to the highest court to ensure that this particular report is made public, because this is not a matter that's only affecting the president of the country, or Cyril Ramaphosa, in his personal capacity. This is a national matter that affects my children, my grandchildren, because if you destroy the rule of law in the country, when you have a president that operates in this kind of fashion, unfortunately, it will affect future generations. It's for that reason that we are going to ensure that this report is made public, and we are confident. I think that this was just really a whitewash to protect President Cyril Ramaphosa on behalf of really at the expense of the integrity and the credence of our country. So we are going to do everything possible to make sure that one day, ultimately, this report is made public. But
why would the Reserve Bank want to protect the president?
Well, I think you look at what happened with the public protector. I think, look, it's in the nature of the ANC over many years to protect one president after the other, even when the cases are so clear that what they're doing is totally unacceptable. So this is just really protecting the president, exposing the deep-rooted corruption within our current ruling party. But we are not going to really let this lie down.
Are you suggesting the Reserve Bank is an extension of the ANC?
Well, if that's how they're going to operate in this manner, they give us every reason to actually really doubt. Because honestly, a matter as clear as this, you can't have whether it's 580 million $580,000 or 4 million. As Arthur Fraser has actually alleged that it's 4 million, and they came back, it's $580,000. As I speak to you right now, we don't know where that money is. Home Affairs, you remember there's a particular gentleman from Dubai who claimed to have bought animals from the president's office farm, paying this kind of money. How was this money brought into the country? Why was it not really declared? Why did the president not report this matter to the law enforcement agencies? Why did they use assaults and intimidation and bribery for this alleged people who stole this money? So all this, I think it's really this is a definite cover-up. We don't have to whitewash it. We don't have to really play any other game. This is a clear case of money laundering, and we are going to really get to the bottom of it.
So what argument then do you set out in your application then to access the report? Because the Reserve Bank says that the only reason it's not made it public is due to legislative requirements and constraints which apply to the SARB.
Look, our legal people are dealing with this matter. I'm not a lawyer, but our legal people feel very strongly that If the Reserve Bank does not have anything to hide, let them make this document, their report public, because this matter is of public interest, more than public interest. Moreover, it involves the president of the country. And we've taken a decision. We've authorized our legal team to go up to the highest court in the land to ensure that this report is ultimately made public, because we cannot compromise the integrity of our country.
Right.
Remember, Kembegile, just a few months ago, South Africa was grey listed because of the prospect of money laundering. And now we've got to suffer because the president of the country is involved in money laundering, and all of us as South Africans, we must pay the price. This is not going to be allowed to really happen under our watch. So we're going to hold the president accountable. We're going to hold the Reserve Bank accountable. If they are fair to us as South Africa, let them just make the report public so that we can really see what measures they've used to come to the determination that they can't find anything untoward with what the president has acted.
And we're all working at a disadvantage because of that very reason, right, that we've not read the full report. So what we have to go on is what was put in that brief statement 2 days ago. On that note, then, if once you have the full reading, it all adds up, what then? If the explanations when we read the full report add up and prove that the president did not do anything wrong, at least as far as contravention of exchange control rules, what then?
Look, Tembekile, there is no way that things will add up. Here, it was a clear case of money laundering. You cannot have such amount of foreign currency coming to the country without being formally declared. I think that one is really very clear. That's the reason why they don't want to really make the report public. So honestly, as far as we're concerned, we have no doubt whatsoever where we're not going to find that the president acted illegally, and he must face the consequences. For the Reserve Bank to try and cover him up, it's not going to really help them. Can only, unfortunately, compromise the integrity of our country. It's going to give international financial institutions and all the agencies in the world concerned about the credibility and the reputation of our financial markets in South Africa, that all of us as South Africans, we are corrupt, we are involved in illegal activity. And it is for that reason we are doing this, to protect ourselves.
As things stand, the SARS investigation, the one by the Public Protector's Office, and this one by the Reserve Bank have all not found anything against President Ramaphosa. How much hope are you pinning on, let's say, the criminal investigation reaching a different conclusion?
Look, I can tell you from where I'm sitting and knowing about foreign exchange regulations. It's 100% case of money laundering. There's no doubt about this, because you cannot bring such amount of cash into the country without going through the legal processes. This money never went through the legal processes. That's why it was stolen. And obviously, we don't know how much of it was recovered, including working with the Namibian government to assist them to really get some of this money back. So there's so many issues out of this case, because obviously the president is not only involved in money laundering. It's involved in, obviously, defeating the ends of justice, because this matter was supposed to have been immediately reported to the police. The president failed to do this.
Herman
The
Mashaba.
president had to really work with the Namibian government to bring this people who stole the money. From the information at our disposal, assaults were made. People were paid. Were paid to keep quiet. So bribery is also involved in this particular matter. So all these cases, unfortunately, the harder they can try and hide it from us, I can tell you the more determined and resolute some of us are going to get to ensure that we protect the reputation of South Africa. We are not prepared to sit back and allow criminal activity compromise the entire 60 million South
All right.
Africans. So the president must really face the consequences of the illegal activity that they conducted.
Leader of ActionSA, Herman Mashaba, good to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time tonight on News of Crime.